It's that spinning back kick, that's what she uses to initiate the confrontation with Loid. So now she resets, she moves around, she gets ready. First thing she does next to start that combination, that combo going, right? She goes boom, 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 spots the kick, boom, here. And she doesn't stop. And right afterwards, she's already initiating this kick. So she boom, here, she brings it up and she throws it, boom, boom, right? But she uses that momentum to drop down for the kicks from the ground, her up kicks. So after the first real exchange with the punches and the kicks, right, with the jab, the cross, the roundhouse kick, the spinning back kick, the wheel kick, or the ushiro mashigeri, whatever you want to call it. First thing she throws, at least from the video that I have, she starts off with the rear hook. After she throws it, she retracts, right? She comes back and she's bladed. So right from there, she shifts from this high guard and she shifts down to this guard here. I want to say this is the Philly shell. She throws the jab. She leads with the hip and the elbow. She whips the jabbing hand out. So she gets into her Philly stance, right? She, boom, elbow comes out. And she's whipping this punch out to Loid. Now, when we're talking about punches, fundamental punches, the first jab she throws in the exchange, the very first jab, she throws the jab like this. This is her jab, right? This would be a standard jab, okay? So, she throws a flicker jab. So she actually does something that I like doing in my sparring. So what I like to do, and what she actually did in the video, in her fight scene, was she throws the flicker jab. From here, she uses her lead hip and drawing that lead hip brings the shoulder back. So she throws the jab, she brings this back, bringing that hip back brings the shoulder back. As she brings the shoulder back, it's kind of in this position. She brings that back and now she throws the hip forward to get momentum to throw another shot right off of the lead jab, of the flicker jab. So it doesn't have the same beat as you would see, so right? So if I was to throw 1, 2, right? There's two distinct beats there for those punches. What she does is she cuts it to the half beat. So it's not this, then this, is pop, pop. Uses the hip, brings that hip back, switches off to the hook. So after she throws the same side combination, if she throws this hook to get him to duck under it. Loid ducking under that shot places his face right here, which means she's in a perfect position to throw that shovel hook across this way. A shovel hook is a punch that's between the uppercut and the hook, right? So if you look at uppercut, this is an uppercut, right? Comes right down the middle. I'm cutting in between the guard. So if someone's standing in guard position here, my punch is coming up this way. Hook, I'm coming from the outside of the guard, right? So I'm coming around the guard and I'm aiming for the jaw, the side of the jaw, the temples, right? Anything on this side. If you watch some of Canelo Alvarez's fights, he kind of has a similar pattern. So, right after she throws that shovel hook, right, they readjust. Now she goes right back to her original tactic of the punches, right? So she's right back here, she throws that flicker jab, same hook. She throws that same exact hook that we and she loads, after missing that shot, she doesn't waste the movement. She allows her to load that hip, that rear hip. Now what she does next is she sinks her weight down. She kind of sits. Like kind of imagine how you kind of almost start to sit in the chair, right? You get, your legs are almost parallel to the ground. You kind of start to bring your weight back. Your butt sits just back just a little bit. So she shifts her weight back, she sits down a little bit, and she's loaded this hip. Now, you get a lot of power from this because you're not just using your hips to throw your shots with this particular movement. Because you have the turning of the hips, you also have this standing up. From here, and she throws this vicious right uppercut straight to the body, right? So she misses that hook, it's okay, because she's already loaded up. She sinks down, she stands into the shot. Forward, and she, boom! She raises Loid up off the ground, bang, right? So he's going up in the air after that shot, bang. So now, she throws a bunch of roundhouses, but the two roundhouses that you see in frame right after that, right? So she loads up, throws an uppercut. So now her body weight is here. She's already forward. Now she shifts a little bit. Now she starts to move her body weight. This hand comes across. We're initiating that lead roundhouse kick again, right? So boom, she comes across, brings that leg up. Boom, brings it. Now, she doesn't set it down. She doesn't set it down here. She throws that and she jumps to switch her hips. She throws this shot, she jumps to throw that second one. So she moves this way. Now off camera, she throws a bunch of roundhouse kicks and spin and heel kicks. But there's one kick that she throws, I don't know if you notice it, but if you look at how the kick moves, this is particularly a Kyokushin kick. It's the Brazil kick, probably in a bunch of other martial arts aside from that one, right? But I originally kind of found it when I was doing research in Kyokushin. And also I kind of just started doing it when I was doing karate. Anyway, so it's, you know what a question mark looks like, right? It's like this. Okay, so keep the image of the question mark. I wonder if I can put like a question mark in the frame somewhere, right? So if you're thinking about roundhouse kicks, it follows a particular trajectory. It's easy. You throw here or you throw there, right? A question mark kick takes advantage of the reaction to high kicks. Sometimes the guard is like this, some here, sometimes here. Depending on what you practice, but your guard is going to be slightly different. It takes advantage of that reaction. And what happens is in the trajectory of the kick, the hip turns down. So, I'm getting a little old, I felt that in my back. But, in the midst of that exchange, she throws a Brazil kick. For the last thing that she does, she throws a front kick. If you think about front kicks, you raise your knee up, you extend your foot, you bring it back, and it's back here, right? That's what you would normally get from a front kick, right? What she does is a little different. She doesn't do that front kick. What she does is, I'm not stretched out for this. So, she brings her foot from the ground. It can be slightly bent to create space, but she brings it straight up. Now, I'm not flexible enough to get it straight up like this. What she does with this is she uses that to break the guard for him. We would normally kick someone in the chin with the heel of the foot with that kick. Here, right? Boom. But she uses it to break the guard, so she can come back around and throw another wheel kick. But her heel breaks at the end and she falls and she goes to sleep. That's pretty much the techniques, or at least all the techniques that I remember kind of seeing from the fight scene between Loid and an intoxicated Yor from Spy Family Episode 5. So if you like the content, please like, subscribe, leave comments in the bottom or in the comment section about what fight scenes you want to see us break down and how to do those techniques. So this is Manny from Into the Dojo, and sayonara.